Hi, you guys. I was on a walk this morning. I go around the block. Basically, I don't have city blocks here, but it's probably about the equivalent of a couple of long blocks, maybe three or four. And I had physical therapy yesterday. Um, and the exercises I've been given are like baby exercises. I mean, by any measure, they're not very strenuous. But I was sore today, having just done a couple of sets of these, sit down in a chair, get up, sit down in a chair, get up. And so I ran into a friend of mine who's a builder. And he said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "Great, but I'm a little sore." And I realized I was talking to somebody who makes their living, you know, going up and down ladders or, lifting heavy stuff. I mean, God bless them, carpenters do a lot of heavy lifting, as it were. So I felt like a bit of a whiner saying to this guy, "I'm sore." And he said, "Oh, well, there there's good pain and bad pain. Pain from exercising, pain from rehab, pain from counseling, pain from working through a difficult situation with somebody. Good pain. Bad pain, self-inflicted, or somebody hurts you, or you hurt somebody." So I think it just made a big difference for me to know that what I was experiencing was good pain, even though I was a little humiliated by the fact that I couldn't do very much in this physical thing. My therapist was like a good deal, I think, older than I am. I mean, she looked like she might be at least a peer, and she was very spry. And so I had to fight down the shame of having been hurt and sick and stuff like that. And I think that that's so important to distinguish between good pain and bad pain. And the pain of healing it still hurts, but it's a pain of being on the mend, coming back to life, being on the mend. On the mend, major arcana card of the Hierophant. Well, let's get a little more. That can be a card of tradition, also of higher power, what you have to do to kind of bow down to higher power. Bottom of the deck, Nine of Swords. Well, that's being on the bed of pain. That can be anxiety, being up in your head, being scared, being anxious. Next up, Nine of Cups. That's not Nine of Swords. 9 and 9, 18. 18 is moon. So we are dealing with some kind of emotion that contrasts between good pain and bad pain. Good. Nine of Cups is sort of like satisfaction, feeling good about something you've done, being up in your head, anxious, maybe that you haven't done enough. And I think your higher power is saying, hang in. It'll take effort and courage. I'm going to flip that over. It'll take effort and courage to heal. It always does. And to get to this point of like it can be a card of self-satisfaction. 9 speak to the self. But that sounds indulgent, and I don't get that at all off this. I think your inner self, your inner knowing is saying, hang in there. This too shall pass. Swords are fast energy. And it's sort of like you have the courage and the power to move beyond the fear. And in my case, it's sort of fear that, will I ever get it back? Will I ever regain my lost ground? This is a card of compassion, too. Of the beast within, that you're kind of taming the internal beast somehow. With love. 9 of Cups. I think it's saying, lean into what makes you happy, where you find pleasure. Under 9 of Cups. Hang in there. Oops. Hangman. Hang in there. Card of Pisces. Seeing it from a different perspective in terms of your emotions. I mean, this is the emotion of fear, being up in your head. Anxious, scared. This is the emotion of, it's cool, I'm good. It's in that same energy of the personal, the 9 card. This is enough. Pisces, the card of water energy, to do with feelings. Feeling good about yourself. And even if the growth or the improvement seems to you very small and very incremental, it's an improvement nonetheless. Whatever it is you're doing that takes courage and takes the ability to tap into, sort of your higher power, to find the strength to carry on, compassion for yourself. And that always leads to compassion for other people. If you're impatient with yourself, if you're punishing yourself, if you're like this, thinking I don't deserve happiness or something like that, you're likely to be, more quick-tempered with other people. Knight of Wands. That's kind of doing something, one's energy, on the fly. Just inspired to go for it. Having the courage to go for it. And the compassion for yourself to go for it. And it will lead to compassion for somebody else in your life, who may be going through similar challenges, not necessarily in the same way you are, but like my friend was able to say to me, there's good pain and bad pain. There's productive pain. There's the pain of healing. He had compassion for me, and maybe I'll be able to pass that on to somebody in my life that I know is similarly facing a struggle, not identical to mine, but a struggle nonetheless. On Strength card, 6 of Swords. That's a sword energy card of moving toward a more peaceful state of mind. Sword energy speaks to the mind. Giving yourself a break. Finding a way to come out, to calm yourself down out of that anxiety into kind of the flow. Aligning. Sword energies can speak to aligning with something calmer and more peaceful. A new perspective on this anxiety. On Knight of Wands. Page of Pentacles. And, doing it on the fly. It's sort of like, it doesn't have to be ponderous. You don't have to be up in your head. You just move forward with life force, with courage and strength, all that fire, principles of fire energy, fire in the belly. And moving on with fire in the belly really will coincide with calming down. Walking around the block, whatever it is, working out, punching the pillow, allowing the light in. On the fly, moving towards some kind of opportunity for new life. Pentacles speak to life. And it can be an opportunity offered to you. Aces speak to the personal, as nines do. Once the anxiety is under control and replaced with self-love. I'm good enough. I'm trying as hard as I can. Trying. Putting in the effort on the fly. Not like with being up in your head in a big plan. It's just doing it, wands energy. And moving toward the more peaceful place. And that like opens up a new, almost like a new dimension. Pass through this portal and your life changes. This is a card of Taurus, Hierophant, earth energy. Higher power, providing you with an opportunity to go through this door on the fly. You don't have to do a lot of planning. You just have to use your sword energy to get out of a triggered place, a fearful. I think you've been full of anxiety and you're summoning the courage and the emotional intelligence. There's an epiphany here of some sort because you have a new perspective on it. And that new perspective kind of unleashes this fire in the belly energy, the willingness to do it without a plan. Is that right? Do it without a plan. On Hierophant, 3 of Pentacles. Hierophant, Taurus energy, earth energy, and this is earth energy again. Might be working with a group, perhaps with a spiritual group or a group of friends who are as well tapping into their higher power. It's creative. It's chiseling away at something. Working at it together. And it's in 3D. There's something about chiseling away at it. You can't do this all in one fell swoop, all in one gulp, all in one big action. It's sustained over time, Pentacles energy time. It might even take 3 years of effort. But the rewards are great, and you have the power to do this. Three years of effort. Or maybe you've been working on getting your spiritual chops back after some kind of event that triggered you. Doing it with somebody else. It's very personal, though. 9 of Swords, 9 of Cups. This could even be like a support group. Where you have compassion for each other. And as a group, you're able to calm each other down. You have compassion for each other. And it might not be a formal support group. It might just be your friends. This can be a card of friendship, of fellowship. On Nine of Swords, Queen of Wands. Well, Queen of Wands, highly intuitive, full of this Wands energy of strength and courage and the ability to do something on the fly, to do it, Wands energy, without a lot of overthinking or, getting all uptight or wound up about something. It kind of frees up intuition. That kind of intuitive knowing, ability to do it on the fly. To seize this opportunity to do it. But Queen of Wands isn't like, it's a different kind of doing it. The doing is very well blended with the receiving. Principally what Queen of Wands does is tap into energy, intuitively tap into the vibes. I feel like I'm losing control, but there is this instruction to do it on the fly. It's a bit impulsive and fast, but it's the impulsive life force energy based on some kind of emotional intelligence. Ten of Pentacles on Hangman. Again, that's the group, the collective, the family. It's also tradition, family legacy. But I think that may be true, but at the same time, you're gaining some kind of independence. These 9 cards. If there's been anxiety in relating to the family, I think you're overcoming it. You've got a new perspective on what it means to be connected like this, to be part of a group or part of a family. Moving to a calmer place, and calming each other down. I think you may be intuiting how to do it, kind of on the fly, without a big plan, but tapping into higher power. And it may be calming down, being a calming influence on your family or your friends. 3 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. Something very tangible that you do. Pentacles energy, fire energy. Pentacles are tangible. Fire energy is about accomplishment and doing and movement and inspired direction. So I think whatever it is that you're doing to calm this group down or to calm your family down, it's not making things placid in that sense of calm. It's calmer waters. It's thinking more clearly, but it's not without this action energy of 9 of Wands. Spirited, creative. It's a new opportunity to do that with a group, with your family, on the basis of what you've done for yourself to get out of anxiety and into, self-love and acceptance. If you're not there yet, you're on the way, Knight of Wands. And your intuition is your guide on how to do this. On how hard you need to work, Pentacles energy, work with other people, work on your own happiness as well. On Nine of Cups, King of Cups. Well, that's a good combo. This is embodying, the desire to connect, the willingness to be open-hearted, and somebody who's opening their heart and allowing happiness in. Seven of Pentacles. It's a card of growth and investment. Investing in yourself, these 9 cards, investing in the group, the collective, the family, the friend group. Taking this opportunity to grow. I think you may be offering your family or your friends or a support group or something like that a demonstrable, the result of your efforts that you've put in. You may be inspiring other people to do it. One's energy to do it. And it's very practical, it's almost like to heal you have to take certain steps and work at recovery. Could be a recovery group. But, principal to this growth is self-love, 9 of Cups. And the ability to replace up-in-the-head anxiety with self-acceptance, 9 of Cups. Growing so much that you embody love, King of Cups. You may be dealing with somebody who's doing that kind of work. You can cooperate with this person. Seven of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. Well, somebody who's very grounded and present and has done the work, put in the time and in the investment to, grow their authentic self. Seven of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Well, there's some kind of open-heartedness that flows both ways. You may be intuiting. This can also be a marriage. But you're intuiting somehow a way to connect in this incredibly authentic and present way with somebody who's likewise present and authentic. It's sort of like somebody passes the litmus test, some kind of litmus test for emotional intelligence, for self-love. And they match you, in terms of how you feel about each other. You may be friends. This may be a family member. This could be a marriage partner. Whatever it is, there's a lot of growth here and new opportunities. Seven of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, in your 3D life. Queen of Pentacles. See, we're matching on a bunch of levels, you and this person. King of Cups, Queen of Cups. King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. You know, your ability to make it real, to be authentic with one another, to be open-hearted with one another. You may have a vision of this somehow, Queen of Wands. You may have the courage to go forward, you know, passionately and on the fly toward this new opportunity. Star. A card of healing. Aquarian energy. Sword energy. You know, moving to a calmer place, the healing place. You know, being guided there. It's kind of like you're maybe both of you or one or the other is getting a hold on their core level ability to be guided toward the calm place, toward the healing place, to have that higher perspective. And there is a suggestion of the collective here. Aquarian energy can be about the collective, the group. You may be a spiritual leader of some kind of situation, you know, some kind of collective or collective building something along with somebody else who knows how to do the same thing. Authentic and real. King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Together you can construct this thing. Three of Pentacles. And it's in 3D, but it's also spiritual. Last card, Magician. You know, you're a major manifester, and I think the person you're working with is willing to cooperate with you. Three of Pentacles on how to manifest something, how to bring it into 3D. Three of Pentacles. 3D life. You know, concretize something. Not in the sense of making it rigid, but just in the sense of, let's do this together, let's make it real. Let's make it real. It's loving, it's supportive. There's no mask here. King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. You can let down your guard. There's room in this relationship, I think, for kind of inspirational, spontaneous energy. Something on the fly. I mean, you're both very grounded. But maybe you feel safe with this person to also be spontaneous. Great opportunity for growth here. Okay, we have on the board Taurus in the Hierophant. This card of higher power. Leo in the Strength card. Courage, fortitude, manifestation in the Magician. Having everything you need to make something real. And to have an idea and make it real through work. 3D work. Getting the chops for something. And it takes courage to heal. There's the good pain and the bad pain. The pain of growth, growing pains, something like that. And doing the work of getting stronger. And as you get stronger, your soul group or your tribe or your family or the people you're connected to will get stronger also. There's more than one person in this in this boat, moving into calmer waters. Mutual compassion. And I think if you've been in a group or in a situation that makes you anxious or afraid, it might be time to move on to something more stable, compatible, full of, I keep hearing emotional intelligence. Like you're not, you want to deal with people who are likewise tapped in as you are. You make each other less afraid. Tapped into higher power. This is a card of great power. I think you're stronger than you know, and you are, part of your chops are the ability to manifest. Work it. 3 of Pentacles. Okay, did I do all the major arcana? Yeah, this is Pisces. So we have Virgo, Gemini, Pisces, Aquarius, and Taurus. Emotional intelligence. That's what I keep hearing. It's not just being a brainiac. It's not overthinking things. It's not working oneself into anxiety. It's not that kind of work, 3 of Pentacles. It's about growth, calm, healing. And we never heal alone. We just don't. We're stronger together. Strength card. All these cards of the collective and working together in cooperation. We're stronger together. I'll see you next time.